Do you want an easy way of reaching out to your customers? Do you want an easy way of tracking your online activity with your clients and have those tracked back in your central CRM system? Hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and I'm joined by my colleague Stephen Pearl for this presentation to show you how the use of the popular GoldMine CRM system in conjunction with IntelliClick software can leverage your CRM database and enable you to reach out in a targeted way to your clients and manage your online events in a more proactive manner. And online events could be quite popular to you right now during the current pandemic. A great way of managing interactions, creating events, all tracked in your central CRM GoldMine system. So let's get right into it.
Tim, thank you very much for having us as a guest today for this presentation. IntelliClick is very much an email marketing platform that has been around for a little while. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the background, how the product came to be and what it's designed to do. But our presentation overall today will just cover a few key areas that relate to our product. We'll touch on first just a quick overview of the entire capabilities of IntelliClick. What are some of the most important features that we bring, many of which distinguish our product from many of the other platforms available in the market. So one of the most important distinguishing features is integration with GoldMine, but then we bring a lot of other features that we believe help make it a more interactive solution to engage your audience and your salespeople as you do email marketing campaigns. The two areas we're going to be touching on today, specifically on features, is the one-click action request. We find that to be one of the more powerful features that many of our clients use to try and drive interest and immediate response by their recipients of email campaigns. And so it's not commonly found with other solutions, but what we're doing is really taking advantage of the fact that this information is flowing to your CRM system, where ideally your salespeople are interacting all day long with their contacts, and bringing things to their attention in a timely way can be a benefit to try to close business. We're also going to look at the advanced event management component. So GoldMine has had the ability to easily and quickly sign people up for an event from a single click. And that, of course, continues to exist, but we've gone a little further and enhanced that to really give you a solution that mimics what many of the webinar type of solutions on the market offer, but really allowing you to use virtually any tool that allows you to set up meetings. So it's not tied to any specific one, and you can use whatever you prefer and still get the benefit of a webinar platform, really typically at a fraction of the cost, and all very tightly integrated with your CRM at the same time. Finally, we'll leave some time at the end for any questions that you might have, so that feel free along the way to post those in the chat area, and we will make sure to address those when we get to the Q&A section of our presentation. But we'll start first with just basically a quick overview of IntelliClick and kind of when it was born and what was the point behind it. The product, as you can see, has been in the marketplace for about 13 years now. It really was the first integration of email marketing with GoldMine. So we had a lot of demand from partners who worked with customers looking for something that could give them the ability. GoldMine has always been a nice, easy way to do mass marketing with email, but it never has had the ability to tell you who's responding as you send out those campaigns. So we thought that laying over the ability to track people who open and click, and then we went a little further by incorporating the ability to tell you who's on your website, what drove them there, how long they spend, what pages they're viewing, and when they return to your site, as a way to identify opportunity we thought was going to be a valuable piece of information to store in GoldMine. So when we built IntelliClick from the outset, we made it do at least that, make sure that the basic information you would capture through most platforms was being captured directly to GoldMine, with the addition of knowing what people are doing on your website and the pages that they're viewing, how often and which ones they view. So that was really our starting point. We've always wanted to leverage the power of having that information in the CRM system. So we've always felt that having the information integrated there meant that it was right alongside everything else you were monitoring as you interact with your customers. So for those of you who are using GoldMine extensively for your call and appointments and possibly even your forecasted sales and looking at what kind of a business you're doing with your clients, now we've overlaid the ability to match that with their response to digital marketing. And we're really trying to take that a little bit further, and we'll be talking shortly about one of the newest feature we're bringing to the table that's going to really use the combination of that information to give you something we feel can be very, very valuable in identifying opportunities. IntelliClick has been and continues to be used worldwide across hundreds of different companies, really in any industry you can just about imagine. It's really very tightly tied into a sales process, but a lot of people in the marketing side of the business like it for the kind of metrics and information it brings to them so that they can drive and determine what they're going to do in terms of new campaigns down the road. And again, as I mentioned, the key was to bridge the gap between marketing and sales. So all these campaigns that marketing develops, make sure that they are actionable, that information comes back that really can be of value to the sales department so that fairly timely action can be taken on those results. Now, in terms of highlights, everything that people are doing as they respond to your campaigns is being tracked in real time back to your GoldMine system. We track both primary and additional contacts. So depending on how you store data in GoldMine, we make sure that we're covering all the individuals who are interacting and reacting to your campaigns. We do try to go, our slogan of going beyond the click really was meant to reinforce the fact that we believe knowing where they start when they react to a campaign is good information, but very often a real indicator of their true interest is based on what they do next, where they move around on your website. So our website browsing does keep track of that behavior, not only when they initially go to your site, but even if they come back days or weeks later. We try to marry all this information up in a lot of different reporting and dashboards that are completely inside of GoldMine and can be run at any moment to pull real-time data and statistics and analytics. And again, it's all designed to try and give you actionable information to allow your sales department in particular to be responsive when the time is right. One of the features I'll be demonstrating and showing and illustrating today is the ability to have these request for actions. Well, the request for action can also incorporate alerts. So we found that it's nice to have information flowing to the CRM, but sometimes salespeople are very busy throughout the day. They may or may not be in front of their computer. So we felt it was key to make sure they knew when something important was happening. So our system has always enabled email and text message alerts at the time of a click to go to those either who are designated based on who's assigned to the account. So you can do this based on assignment, or it can be based on designating. If there's a particular group or individual that needs to do the follow-up, as interest is shown, you can make sure those alerts go to those specific people. It can be one or multiple. But the team alerting is a powerful, we feel, tool to, again, have timely reaction. Process automation, many of you know GoldMine has a whole area and a whole engine built called automated processes. And that is designed to allow a series of steps to be taken. And basically those automated processes can be triggered from any campaign you send, so that if you do build some type of a flow, whether it's for drip marketing or other forms of follow-up, those can be triggered from that campaign from a single click, so that people are put on a track that immediately starts to take the action that you've defined inside your GoldMine system. The information we're using when you do execute a send is the data as it exists in your system at that moment in time. So you're not at the, needing to output information, upload to some exterior system and hope that you have the latest information or the correct information. We're using exactly what is in your system at that moment. It stays inside your system. We send and track back to your system. So really everything stays behind your firewall in your environment. Nothing needs to be output or uploaded. So we try to keep that fairly seamless. But also importantly is we've determined that a lot of times the integrity of your data, how good the information is going to have a bearing on the outcome and results of your campaigns. So we did introduce ways to maintain the integrity of your data by things like our quick update module, which allows you to go out to your recipients and ask them to confirm if information you have is correct. It will then turn around and update back into your system any changes, if any, that are appropriate. This could be anything from people's titles and information that you store about their location, their phone numbers, or most importantly, their email addresses. As things might be changing, it helps to make sure the information is up to date or is updated where appropriate. And of course, we make sure that gets tracked so you know when these changes occur, and there's a little bit of an audit trail to make sure you know who has had changes made. Now, something we're just introducing, very much coming up soon, this quarter of 2020, is really to take a lot of this information that we've been helping clients do for all these years and start to measure and score both the interaction that's been going on in GoldMine, so interaction scoring, and combine that with digital marketing scoring so that you in effect have two scores that are getting compared at any moment in time to isolate possible gaps. And what I mean by that is you could have a scenario where people are showing a lot of interest in responding to your email marketing, but you've had very minimal, if any, interaction with them in a certain period of time. So if in the last 90 days they're showing interest, but you've had no interaction with them in the last 90 days, no email or phone calls or anything, then that is a gap that may be worth paying attention to because they're out there, they're showing the interest. It's time to maybe start engaging and interacting. And so we're now going to take advantage of the fact that we have two important things being stored in the GoldMine environment, one being all the interaction as you complete steps that you take with people, and comparing that with response rates and response actions, very specific actions, the type of pages they're looking at, the specific actions they're taking, whether they're clicking, whether they're asking for information, whether they're asking you to call them. Different things can have different scores that you actually dictate to determine, based on what's important to you, whether or not there's an opportunity that's being missed because there's a lack of interaction against that interest. So this opportunity gap management module, which is launching this quarter, we think is going to be a nice addition, and it's going to automatically use whatever is already in your GoldMine system. So the interaction scoring is automatic. It will look at any time frame of information that already exists to score. You set the scores, we automatically use those scores, and the same holds true once you do digital marketing with our scoring module. So the two will kind of work nicely together to really highlight, hopefully, good opportunities to be pursued. So if we now zero in a little bit more on two features we think are fairly distinguishing of IntelliClick, the first being our one-click action request. And so this is where you want to try to short circuit the time it takes from somebody having an interest in, let's say, wanting to either be contacted or potentially even receiving literature, some type of interaction that typically would involve often forms where people would need to fill in some kind of a form to request. We've kind of wanted to make sure that can be short-circuited so that a single click takes care of the entire process. So this allows you to take any link you create, whether it's a page link or a specific call me link, and immediately have it do several different things. One, of course, bring attention to whoever needs to take action in the CRM. The other is to potentially send notification to them, because if your salespeople are not in the office, there's no reason they shouldn't be immediately alerted anyway, and to have them be able to have the information they need to take action. So action requests are able to be both designated or dynamic. Dynamic means you have reps assigned to the account. We want to be sure the right person is being notified based on who's assigned. That is all possible with the capability of our system. We've made sure that these requests are really valid requests. So when people click, we give them a confirmation to click that makes sure that after they click initially, they confirm that it's a definitive request. We've learned that many email servers will screen emails as they come in, and sometimes the manner in which they read the links in the email can trigger a false positive. So to get around that risk or possibility, we've introduced and made sure we have a two-step confirmation. So it requires a physical human being clicking to say, yes, I really want this to occur. And then finally, our confirmation pages with everything we do are always branded to your company with your own logo. So we do provide landing pages on virtually all kinds of behavior, but it always brands with your logo. It also does allow you, if you prefer, to create your very own landing pages on your website, and we can take people to those pages on a click, or you can use ones we provide that have some specialized behaviors, and you'll see an example because I'm going to show one right now, a quick little example of how this can play out. And so I'm using an email here that I already sent myself in advance of the our presentation today. You could see there are different buttons with actions that will immediately occur, but the one I'm going to focus on is this Call Me Now button. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that Call Me Now, and it's going to just drop me on the landing page. It will pass in using our special landing pages that we offer. It'll drop in a little bit of information. And then here, of course, the logo in this case would be your own company logo. But this is where they have the option to just say, yes, I really do want a callback request, which has been all part of what you build when you create the link. So it's passing in information based on what type of interaction you're offering to them and that they are requesting. When they click on the proceed button, it just finalizes that this is now occurring, that we have now notified a representative. And literally within seconds of this second step, as you can hear or see, I've already been notified with a little callback request. Let me bring GoldMine so that we have all of this being seen right here. Let me just make sure that we have our alarm showing as well. So here's the alarm, because we did set that callback request to be an action that will be alarmed. You have the option of having it be alarmed or not. But obviously, if it's an alert, it's important that it pops right up and immediately puts it on the calendar and on the list of the person that needs to take that action. And so this has immediately put that action into play. I set that up so that it would also generate an email alert as well. So if I go over here, you'll notice that I've already received in my inbox the alert. So it simultaneously drove an action into GoldMine and sent an alert telling me who the person is that's requesting, what they are requesting, what campaign, the date, the time that this actually took place, and everything I need to take action and follow up is in this alert email. So what's nice is that this is being received wherever the salesperson receives that email messaging, on their phone, in the office. And again, if they're in front of GoldMine, they have that added benefit of the action being visible, and they can immediately go right to the contact record and start to take action on the request. So we find that kind of interaction, that kind of notification to be very interactive. And so we like to talk about IntelliClick as being an interactive email marketing system, so that it really tries to keep everyone engaged with each other in very short order and very easily. So we like to believe that's a very worthwhile feature, and I thought it was worthy of showing that as part of our presentation today. Now, as I mentioned, the typical uses for these action requests are things like a phone call, request for quote, request for proposal. These are what we see it being most commonly used for. We do offer the ability on a click to deliver literature. So if there is certain things where you want people to receive product information, a single click can deliver a PDF file coming from the salesperson assigned to the account, introducing that information. And so it's a little bit better than just saying download something, because now you're interacting by putting an email in their inbox, and you're tracking the fact that this request has occurred and scheduling a follow-up to the rep. So you're sure that action follow-up will be taken. But you can't track just a click to download. So we do give you the ability, if you prefer, to just simply send people to your site to download or to watch videos. All that behavior on your site can be tracked as well. So I'm going to now move to this area that we were going to focus on, which is our advanced event management. And so this is where another type of one-click action, but that also allows you to go a little bit further. So in today's environment, offering up remote events and the ability for people to join you on various types of web events is a good way to stay in front of your customers, especially at a time when sales reps can't easily get out and see them. And so we're seeing a lot of customers more and more doing a lot of these web type of events. These are things like product updates, or they're doing remote training sessions, or all kinds of ways to stay engaged with customers as well as with prospects. So this area makes it easier for you to set up and get that event out there so that people can sign up, whether it's people you know or people that just simply visit your website. So in addition to the single click sign me up, we do allow you to get new registrants to be added to the CRM system and get them registered for that, all from one single little form that they submit if it's one that you're offering to them through social media, your website, or even, as Bob was mentioning, in just any email you might send them as you interact with your audience over time. For an upcoming presentation, you might start capturing new people to your site, to your system, just by virtue of the communication they're receiving. We've made it so that it gives you have a lot of control on the follow-up messaging, the branding, the messaging you send. So beyond what a typical webinar platform provides, which are fairly boilerplate type of templates that allow you to modify some parts of it, but we're actually allowing you to create in complete form the email template that will be used. So each event can have very specific elements and look and feel and color and everything you want as part of the messaging you send. And then, of course, making sure that the reminders go out automatically at the time intervals you want, whether it's the day before, the hour before, and even post-event for thanking people that attended to receive potentially links to a webinar and things like that. So let's just take a quick look at this in action in our system. And I'm going to bring up the IntelliClick wizard. So two key components with our solution. The one that sets up all the coding and tracking for a particular campaign, and then the actual delivery capability, which we call IntelliSend. So that really provides a very smart way to send in mass your mailings, making sure that people who've unsubscribed, who are no longer valid emails, are being excluded. All of that is being managed with the intelligence of our sending mechanism. But all of that is tied to anything you create under the campaign tracking module. And in addition to being able to generate just a standard campaign link, or being able to code an entire message that you've already created with links, we offer the event registration with automated reminder option. And this is the one I wanted to talk about today, which allows you to build out the complete messaging for a particular event. Any events that you've already have scheduled can be brought up and modified at any time along the way. So as an example, I'll pull up the one that's coming up next in terms of timing. And you'll notice that basically there is one section for the details of the event, the bare bones, what campaign I'm using for the event, what I want it to track as, what's the name that I want my audience to see and know this event as, and then any specific details if I want to provide them on how to participate in the event. So this is an example where I can use various types of links, whether that link be something provided to me from a GoToMeeting or from a Zoom or from Google Meetups and all these different tools. Any one of these can be set up as information that will automatically confirm and pass that information to the recipient as they join and register for the event. We also make it so that if you want to incorporate things like a add to calendar link right in any messaging you're creating. So the confirmation messages, you'll notice down here we have our message confirmation area where you manage which template you've created for the confirm, the reminder. And you can have up to 2 pre-event reminders. You can also incorporate, if you wish, a post-event little messaging that would go out 1 day, 2 days after the event, if that is appropriate. But the key here is that it's really very easy to structure that message and even incorporate alerts right at time of click. So if you choose to want to make sure you know as people are signing up for the event, you want whoever's the moderator, the person running the event, to know who's showing the interest, who's just signed up. You can incorporate an email or multiple emails that can do the alerting. So what's really nice is that this one single screen does allow you to fully manage the structuring of the event along with the messaging of the event. And then once you move to the next screen after it confirms that everything you have is right, we want to be sure that it is 100% correct before we actually code it. But then it moves to a screen that allows me to create an instant one-click sign me up, a web form link that would take them to a place where it will allow them to register. And then if they exist in the system, we just schedule it. If they're brand new to you, they will be added as a new person in your system and registered for the event. We also give you another opportunity here to add to calendar, and these little links for add to calendar can be literally placed anywhere you wish. It could be put on your website, on your transactional emails, or in the confirmation messaging you create so that they have that nice, easy one-click add to calendar. The end result on when they click on these various links, as a quick example, and I'm going to show down here in here the register yourself, register a colleague. So this is the difference between a one-click instant sign up and a register somebody else. If they click on the register instant sign up link, this is an example from a prior one we did, they would receive a confirmation of what they're now being signed up for. If they use instead a link that is going to, let's say, register a colleague, or this could be something that is even set up on your website, they would receive a page that will have your logo displayed, the information of the event, and the ability to now sign up and register. Either of these end up with the exact same result, and that result in GoldMine is simply and I'm going to show this, probably a good way to show it to you is here in my activity list. And I'm going to just isolate this down to an example here where we are scheduling people for the day and time to the account that's in your system with the action of being participant in the event. It's a pending action on your calendar for a user called events. And we purposely create that in GoldMine as a placeholder where any type of events people are participating in are isolated to, so that all the reporting and everything we do can easily give you all that information back very quickly. We talked about all the reporting we have. Well, the one for this specific tool allows you to run and see any upcoming events by day, by each of the dates, and then see a full summary of those who are participating in the event. So this particular report summarizes the event, the date, any of the subject lines that are currently being in use, because these can be altered along the way if you decide when those are going to go out, and then the actual people who so far have registered for the event, including the registration date that we include as well. So you know when these people decided to jump on for this particular registration. And so it's very nice and easy to click to each of these events at any moment and see who's participating. So we try to bring it all together for you nicely inside the GoldMine environment, come up with some nice reporting to give you a quick snapshot of who's participating.